So everyone, welcome to the Schlegel Experiment Part 2. And I'm going to be walking you through sort of the process that I've gone through at buying a home and saved myself a huge amount of money along the way with some decisions that I've made compared to the first decision that I made when purchasing my home. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with some basic understanding of a couple things. We are going to, first of all, hopefully understand kind of from a basic sense how loans work, and then also understand how different factors affect the payoff amount of a loan. And so this word too should not be here, that's a typo. So today is about loans, particularly my own home loan. And so what I need people to understand is that when we're talking about loans, there is compound interest involved. But since a loan is something that has regular monthly payments going to it, we can think about a loan as future value of annuity or present value of annuity, because these are both classified by having regularly scheduled payments. Now, the tricky part is to figure out which one it is, because we are paying into the loan, we are giving money to it, which makes it sound like future value of annuity. But the value of the loan is going down over time, hopefully, because we're paying the loan off, it is getting smaller. And so that has characteristics of present value of annuity. And so we're going to go ahead down here to Notes Part 3 and talk through some of these things in a bit more detail. So future value of ordinary annuity, a fund that gets paid into. And so we can think about that like a retirement fund, and or a loan, like we're paying into the loan. But what makes future value of an annuity future value is that the value is going up. We are building wealth. We are gaining more money over time. We don't want that to be what's happening in a loan. We want the value of the loan to be going down. So a loan is not future value of an annuity. Let's talk about present value of an annuity for a moment. A present value is a fund that gets paid out of monthly and the value goes down, is how we've talked about this before. So like my retirement account, the value would go down, and between payments, interest would accrue. So I'm going to stop right there for a moment, and we're going to talk about these two graphs right here, these two black ones. And so this would ideally be my retirement fund as I'm paying into it. So future value of ordinary annuity, you can see my payment goes in, it grows a little bit. My payment goes in, it grows a little bit. My payment goes in, it grows a little bit. And as I'm doing that, it's gaining interest faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Then I retire. I'm starting my second graph right here, where I've got a bunch of money in the account, and I'm taking money out. What's left grows. I take money out. What's left grows. I take money out. What's left grows. I take money out. What's left grows, etc. Now, what I just described about my retirement account when it's paying back to me is present value of an annuity, but this behaves exactly how a loan behaves, where with a loan you have a large lump sum that you have borrowed. You pay some money toward the loan, it gains interest, and you owe more than you did when you made your payment. You pay some more, it gains interest, and then you owe more. You owe a little bit more. Then you pay, and it gains interest. You owe a little bit more. And so this is how people that give loans make their money, is these little jumps in between each payment. Every time that happens, they're getting paid. And so to them, this functions like a present value of an annuity, because each period they're getting a little payment from the interest that is being charged to you on your loan. And so we can think of both a fund like a retirement account that is paying out to you and the value is going down as a present value of annuity. We can also think about a loan from our perspective as a present value of annuity, because for us, we are making regularly scheduled payments and the value of the loan is going down over time. And so we're going to go ahead and talk through this piece right here, then we'll come back and have one more little conversation about this. So present value of an ordinary annuity, an example of that is paying off a loan, in addition to our retirement account making payments to us each month. So with regard to paying off a loan, it's a fund that gets paid into monthly. So we are making payments to the loan in order for the value of the loan to go down. So we want the overall size of the loan to be less. And then between payments, the fund gains value through interest, And this process of paying off a loan is called amortization. And so you'll hear me use the word amortization multiple times from here forward. And when I say that, you can think, oh, Schlegel's talking about paying off a loan. The interesting thing about loans, which is bad for us but good for the lender, is that, as you can see with my future value of annuity up here, and we've talked about this in chapter 5 and other places in GeoGebra, we saw that as I put money in and it's left there for longer periods of time, it gains interest faster. And so that's very good for us because the longer we leave it in, the faster it gains interest. And that's great. We make a lot of money doing that. With retirement, it sort of functions backwards, the opposite way. When I get into retirement, I have a ton of money in the account, and so it's gaining interest quickly. But as my fund gets smaller, it starts to gain interest more slowly because I have less and less money in the account to generate interest. That's bad for us both in retirement, and it's bad for us in loans because in a loan, at the very beginning, you are paying huge amounts of interest, like tremendous interest. And we'll get into that as I get into my video about my home loan, my initial home loan. But understanding, everyone, that this is sort of how interest works in both of these, that in the present value of annuity, there's a big lump sum, so it's generating interest very quickly. And then as that overall value gets smaller and smaller, it starts to generate interest more slowly. And again, while we are saving money, there's not a lot of money in the account, but as we save more and more over time and save more and more, it begins to generate interest more quickly. So that's going to be our springboard, everyone, for the Schlegel experiment part 2, buying a home. And with that, we're going to get right into it.